Okay, today's video is going to be all about division. I'm going to go through long division and then I'm going to compare it with short division so you can see actually they're both the same. We will then be making some play-doh. It's sort of play-dohy slime, but it's more play-doh than slime, and we'll be using this as a manipulative to me showing you how to do division and what division means. Okay, so I've written a division here and I've got 144 divided by 4 is equal to 36. Now, the 4, what we're dividing by, what we would call that is actually the divisor. Okay, so because we're dividing by 4, we call that the divisor. Now, this is terminology they do expect you to know at Key Stage 2, so it is good just to go over it before I go into how to divide. So because the divisor is 4, we want to divide, or we want to share, or we want to split up 144 between or into 4 groups. So I've used what I've cut out of egg cartons to show the 4 groups or the divisor. So whenever you see the egg cartons coming out, that's me showing you the divisor. And here I've got some Play-Doh, and that's going to represent 144. Okay, so I've got 144, or the Play-Doh, and I need to share it, or I need to split it equally into 4 different groups. And that's what 104 divided by 4 means. So if my divisor is 4, and I've got 4 egg cartons, I need to share 144 between 4 egg cartons. So in each egg carton, I would have 36. So I've got 36 groups of 4 would be equal to 144. So 36, add 36, add 36, add 36 is equal to 144. So another way of, instead of writing 36, add 36, add 36, add 36, as you can see from the picture here, would be for me just to write 36 times 4. As you know, multiplication is repeated addition. So I've got 4 groups of 36, and that gives me 144. It's important to really understand what division or what sharing means before we go into how to divide. Okay, I've got a second example. So can you spot my divisor here? I've got 2,538 divided by 6. That's correct. 6 is my divisor. That's what I'm dividing by. So I've got 2,538 and I'm sharing it into 6 groups. So I will need 6 of my egg cartons. So remember, I'm sharing 2,538 equally into 6 groups. So I've got my 6 groups ready. So you can see my divisor is there. And now I need my Play-Doh. And my Play-Doh is going to represent 2,538. And the Play-Doh here is what's going to be shared out into 6 groups equally, of course. So I need to find out how much Play-Doh to put into each group. So the Play-Doh is representing a dividend. So now you've learnt 2 words when we divide. So my Play-Doh is called my dividend, and my egg cartons are my divisors, how many groups I'm sharing it out into. Okay, so 2,538 divided by 6 is equal to, I need to know how much I'm going to put into each egg carton, and the answer would be 423. So I've got 423 times 6 is equal to 2,538. So as we know, repeated addition is the same as multiplication. So 423, I've added it 6 times. So another way I can write this is simply 423 multiplied by 6. So I just want you to practice using divisor and dividend into sentences. And then now we can actually look at the same question, but I will show you how to multiply using long division. So I've written my dividend, 2,538, and I am dividing it by 6. Okay, so the first step for long division would be just to simply write the question. And then I'm just going to have a look at my divisor. So in this question, the divisor is 6. And that means I need to just do my 6 times tables on the side. Obviously, if you already know your 6 times tables, you can skip this step. So after you've written the question, you just need to check what is the divisor. So in this example, our divisor, what we are dividing by is 6. So I'm just going to do my 6 times tables on this side, and this should help me with my division question. If you want to have a look at my last, not my last YouTube video, but I think it was a few weeks ago, the one about times tables, and I can show you how to quick ways of doing your times tables. So if you want to check that out and then come back and watch this, then you can. Okay, so once you've done your 6 times tables on the side, then we can go back and have a look at the actual question. So 2,538 divided by 6. So I'm going to be using an acronym on the side. So DMSBR. So I like to remember it with do monkeys sniff brown rats, or do McDonald's sell burgers regularly? Well, at this moment in time, maybe they're not. So I'll stick with the first one. So D divide, M multiply, S subtract, B bring down, and R repeat. Okay, so we've written these letters on the side. Later on, the more you do of these long division, the more you'll realise actually you won't need to write these down. Okay, so 2,538 divided by 6. Okay, so if I was to split 2,500 basically into 6 groups, what would that mean? So another way is I could just say 25 divided by 6. So I'm going to be checking my 6 times tables on the side. So 25 divided by 6 would be, the closest would be 4, with some remainder left over. So I'm going to place the 4 there. In short division, you'd write the remainder, but we're not doing short division. We're going to do it slightly differently, and you'll realise it's the same. So 4 times 6, I'm multiplying next. 4 times 6 is equal to 24. I write it straight under the 25. And I've multiplied, so I'm going to take that off. And next is to subtract. And these are steps that you would do naturally in your head when you do short division. So actually, a long division's a lot easier because you're writing everything down. So once I've subtracted, my answer is 1. B is for bring down. So I need to bring down the next digit, which is the digit 3. And once I've brought that down, I can tick that off, and then I'm just going to repeat the whole process again. So my new number is now 13, so I'm going to say 13 divided by 6. So I've got 2, so I've divided, and then I'm going to multiply. So 2 times 6 is equal to 12, of course. So now that I've multiplied, I am subtracting, and 13 take away 12 is 1. So I've subtracted, and then I'm going to bring down the digit 8 next. So my new number is 18, and I'm repeating the whole process. 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3, and 3 times 6 is equal to 18. So once I have finished, my answer is 423. When you realise that your subtraction at the end, so 18 take away 18 would be equal to 0, then you know that you've finished. Okay, so your DMSBR, you will get the hang of it the more you do, and you'll find that actually you don't have to write these letters down to remind yourselves or use them as tick lists. But just as a start, then it is best to. Okay, let's have a look at another one. This question, 5,941 divided by 13, is a typical stats arithmetic question, where rather than dividing by a 1-digit number, the divisor is usually a 2-digit number. And this question is a 2-mark question in the arithmetic paper. And there is at least 2 or 3 of these questions. Okay, so the first step, remember, is just to write your times tables on the side. So 13 times tables, I'm just writing these on the side. If you want to have a go as well while I'm doing this, it's up to you if you want to look or not want to look. I will give you another question after this where you can have a go on your own. So the first 2 questions we're just doing together, unless you are feeling confident, of course. Now with my 13 times tables or whatever times tables you're doing, don't go all the way to 10 or 12 because you might not need that much. So I'm just going to stop up to 6 for now, and if I need to carry on again later, then I will. Okay, so 5,941 divided by 13. So I've written my 13 times tables, and then step number 2 is just to write my letters. Do monkeys sniff brown rats is how I like to remember it. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat. Okay. So I'm going to divide first. So I'm going to take the digit 5 and 9. So I've got 59 divided by 13, and I'm going to be checking my times tables on the side. So 59 divided by 13 would be 4 times with some remainder. But remember, this isn't short division. Instead of doing the remainder and the multiplying and subtracting in your head, you're just going to write it all down. So my next step is to multiply. So I've just written the 4. So the number I just write, I'm going to multiply. 4 times 13, I can check my chart, is equal to 52. So I've multiplied. Next is to subtract. So just put the subtract sign, and then 59 take away 52 is, of course, 7. So now that I've subtracted, B, bring down. So the next digit for me to bring down is the digit 4. Place that next to the 7. And after I bring down, I'm just going to repeat the whole process again. So now I'm going to divide 74 divided by 13. Just going to check my chart. That would be 5 times. And then I'm going to multiply. So 5 times 13 is equal to, check my chart, 65. And then I'm going to subtract as my next step. 74 take away 65 is equal to 9. And then I'm going to bring down the next digit, which is 1. So now I've got 91. Now I'm just checking my chart and I don't have that many, so I need to go on and do 7 times 13. Which happens to be exactly equal to 91. So back to my question, my division question, 91 divided by 13 would be 7 times. And then I need to multiply 7 times 13 is 91. Now, I don't have a remainder at all. There's nothing left over. 7 times 13 is exactly 91, and I don't have anything else to bring down. And that means we have finished the question. So 5,941 divided by 13 is equal to 457. Okay, I want you to have a go at this question, or at least have a go at the first 2 steps. So what I want you to do is, I want you to write out the question, and I want you to check the divisor. So the divisor would be 18 in this case, so which is my egg carton, what I'm representing my egg carton with. So I want you to have a go at writing the 18 times tables on the side and laying out the question. So if you want to press pause now and have a go, and then come back and we'll answer it together. Okay, so hopefully you've written out the question, 6,192 divided by 18. You've laid it out. And you've got the DMSBR acronym on the side, do monkey, sniff brown rats, or divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. So now I just want you to check your 18 times tables are correct, because that's important. So we've got the 6,192, which it represents the play-doh, and then divided by 18, which is the egg carton. So we want to know how much play-doh would be shared equally into 18 groups. Okay, so before we carry on with this question, I do want you to check your 18 times tables first, just to be sure. So you've got 18, 36, 2 times is 36, and then if you double the 2 times, it should give you 4 times, which is 72. And you can actually do the same for the 3 times and the 6 times. So 3 times 18 is 54, so 6 times would be double 54. So you should have 18, 36, 54, 72, 90, 108, 126. Okay. So do monkey, sniff brown rats, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. You might realise that actually you don't need these letters, so it's up to you whether or not you use them, but it's just in case you go wrong. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with 60. So we're dividing first of all. So we're going to say 61 divided by 18. I'm going to check my 18 times tables. So we're dividing, and that would be 3 times, which is 54. So I'm going to place the 3. Now that I've divided, I'm going to now multiply. So the number I've just written is the 3. So 3 times 18 is equal to 54. And I'm going to place that straight under the 61. So I've multiplied. Next step is to subtract. So I'm just going to put a subtraction sign, and I'm going to do 61 take away 54. And the answer is, of course, 7. Okay, once I've subtracted, I'm going to take that off. And the next thing on my list is the B, which is bring down. So I need to bring down the next digit. I'm just going to use an arrow to help me remember which digit I've just brought down. So I'm going to place the digit 9 next to the digit 7. and then it sends it R is for repeat the process. So I'm back to dividing. So 79 divided by 18, I'm going to check my chart, which is 4 times. If I check my chart, 4 times is 72. So I'm going to place the digit 4. So I've divided, and then after my D is M for multiply. So 4 times 18. Check my chart, 72. Place the 72 under the 79. And now I'm subtracting. So 79 take away 72 is equal to 7. And then I need to bring down. Can tick these two off. So I'm going to place the 2 next to the 7. And I'm going to repeat this whole process again. So I'm back at D dividing. So 72 divided by 18 is equal to 4 exactly. 4 times 18 is 72. So because I've divided, I'm just going to multiply it. So M for multiply, 4 times 18 is equal to 72. And I'm going to subtract. 72 take away 72 is equal to 0. And there's nothing to bring down. So that means that I've finished my question. I've finished answering it. So the answer to 6,192 divided by 18 is equal to 344. Okay, we're going to have a look at one last question. Now, this question is different to the other ones because this question has an answer which is has a decimal point. This question you would never find in an arithmetic SATs, or there hasn't been one like this until now. However, you could find it in a reasoning paper. So I'm going to show you how to answer a question instead of with remainders with decimal points. So the first step, exactly the same. Do your 5 times tables on the side, which I have done. And DMSBR. So you solve it exactly the same as we have been doing before, but I'll show you how it just makes it, how it's a bit different at the end. So 824 divided by 5. Hopefully this one should be nice and easy. Just put that into focus. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to D for divide. So 8 divided by 5. Put 1 times, and then I need to multiply. 1 times 5 is equal to 5. So I can take that off. And next I need to subtract. So 8 take away 5 is equal to 3. Now that I've subtracted, I need to bring down. So I need to bring down the next digit, which is the digit 2. So my new number is 32. And then I need to repeat this whole process. So exactly the same as with what we've been doing. So I need to divide again. 32 divided by 5. I'm going to check my chart. It'll be 6 times. And then multiply. 6 times 5 is equal to 30. Place that under the 32. Now that I've multiplied, I need to subtract. 32 take away 30 is equal to 2. Now that I've subtracted, the next one is B, bring down the 4. And then 24 divided by 5 would be 4. Not exactly 4, of course. Okay, so now that I need to multiply next. 4 times 5 is equal to 20. I need to take it away, 4. Now, it means that there's nothing for me to bring down now, but I can't leave the answer as 164 because 4 times 5 isn't exactly 24. So instead of writing remainder 4, what I would do is in year 5 and 6, you're expected to know how to use decimal points. So I need to place a decimal point, and if I place a decimal point, that means I can multiply my answer by 10. So instead of remainder of 4, I've got 40, and I'm going to still divide like how I've usually been doing. So 40 divided by 5 would be 8 times. Place the 8 at the top, and then I'm going to do 8 times 5, which is equal to 40. And take them away, and my answer is 0 when I subtract, and there's nothing obviously to bring down. And remember, my answer is final when I subtract and I have a 0. So in this case, 824 divided by 5 is equal to 164.8. And that's how you'd use a decimal point. So again, the difference between long division and short division is when we do get a remainder, we don't use remainders, we'd use a decimal point. Okay, so if you have an egg carton, if you just chop it up, so this is the 12 box, and I've just painted it inside, and you can use this as a brilliant manipulative for a lot of things. So for example, division, I've used this as my divisor when I'm splitting something into groups. And obviously for my dividend, I've got the play-doh, which I'm going to be showing you now how to be making your own play-doh just from some household items. Okay, so to make the play-doh from household items, you're going to need some corn flour and some conditioner. These are the two main ingredients. Now I've just got a big tub to mix in. And if you want some food colouring and glitter, these are of course optional, but who doesn't love a bit of glitter? Okay, so the first step would be for you just to get some conditioner, and I'm just filling two-thirds of a cup basically. So I've got 2/3 of a cup of conditioner, and to that I'm just going to be adding 3 tablespoons of some corn flour or cornstarch, either will do. And I'm just going to mix that in. I will be adding 6 more spoons later. But I'm just mixing it in this just so you can see it clearer, but I will start mixing it in my larger pot in a bit. So you just want to mix that in really well. And then you want to add 3 more tablespoons of the corn flour, and again keep stirring. So I'm just transferring it into something bigger so I can mix it. And then I've added 3 more tablespoons of the cornstarch or the corn flour, so 9 tablespoons altogether to 2/3 cup conditioner. Now this part is also optional. You could add some shaving foam. What I find the shaving foam does is it just makes it slightly more stretchier. So if you want stretchier Play-Doh, then definitely add some shaving foam. I'm just wearing gloves so I can really mix it well. Okay, now add your glitter and your food colouring.